Welcome to the final ship of theses. This is our joint presentation about our course, Effective Music Education Practices. I'm Brant.
And I'm Marcis, and that over there is our lovely mentor, Professor Emily Talley.
I appreciate you.
The course, Effective Music Education Practices, is a special topics course marketed as an elective 2-credit hour course, which has 2 hours of meeting time, as well as 2 expected hours of work outside of class. In the first semester that we did this, in spring 2024, it was a once meeting time a week for 2 hours from 5 to 7, and then in this spring semester it has now transitioned to being a twice meeting time a week for 1 hour from 6 to 7. This has allowed us to incorporate a variety of instruction from lectures from ourselves, hands-on experiences that reinforce those concepts, and additional guest lecturers throughout the semester, both from the university, other institutions, and the community. Students are able to work on through this course peer teaching. They start with 5-minute lessons and small group things, and then they lead up to things like our midterm project this semester, partnering with the Athens Community Music School to teach beginner youths in the camerata and cadet strings groups, and finally culminating in a final portfolio and 10-minute teaching peer demonstration that we started on Tuesday, and we will continue tonight.
And so, getting into why we did this in the first place, when we came into the fall semester last year, we noticed that there were some gaps in our own undergraduate training, as well as what we had learned during our first years of teaching. Taking the class Current Trends in Music Education, offered by Professor Talley, invited us to the insights that these were not problems exclusive to us and to our programs, but were endemic nationwide, that there were trends that were not being gone into with the depth and breadth that they deserve in music programs. After taking a look at the undergraduate curriculum here at OU, we kind of developed our mission towards DEIA and digging into the depth and breadth that topics like these deserve, as well as teaching students with exceptionalities and other administrative tasks and things that are essential to the first years of teaching. Through this, we also developed our dedication to student excellence and our own dedication to teaching teachers excellently. So starting up in fall 2023, there was some paperwork involved to make this into a special topics course, one of which was building the syllabus and the scope and sequence. After we constructed those during that fall semester, we used that interim winter break between 2023 and 2024 to create our lesson plans and slides for the first few weeks of the semester, about the first half, as well as our assignments and rubrics. As the semester developed, we adapted that to our students' needs and met them where they're at, which became a teaching tool in and of itself to invite the students into the process of here's how you can meet your students and change your best laid plans.
So as Marcus kind of mentioned, we looked into gaps in the Ohio University Music Education curriculum, as well as gaps in music teacher education training nationwide at other universities to develop various topics that then we included in our scope and sequence and syllabus for the first iteration in spring 2024. That first spring we had 9 students, all ending up being sophomore level group. And in combination with teaching and designing the course, we also conducted a pilot study that culminated in a research paper and a conference proposal to the 2024 NAFME Biennial Research and Music Teacher Education Conference.
And that proposal was ultimately selected for a poster session, which we attended in September of last year in Atlanta. And we had referenced plenty of scholars as part of our research, but we had kind of jibed that we might meet some of them and that they would critique our work. And we ended up getting to speak with Dr. Tim Grolks, who mentioned that this is exactly what he was hoping people would do with his work. And that kind of led us to believe that maybe we are digging in the right direction. We used this pilot study and our findings to inspire further research on applying courses like this to other music programs across the country. This is our poster that we brought to Atlanta, and it somehow survived the hurricane, even in this digital format. Thank you. We have our methodology results in, again, another QR code for our literature that you're welcome to scan. But the meat of this is found in our charts, where we conducted a pre-survey and a post-survey regarding a variety of topics and student comfort levels as to what they felt they could appropriately teach regarding. In addition, we have the qualitative prompts that you see over there in the tables, all of which contributes from pre-survey to post-survey that students trended upward across the board. And between this course and the other courses that they engaged with during their spring semester last year, they felt more comfortable with teaching and with education principles.
Based on feedback we received from the NAFME conference and our own reflections post-instructing the course in 2024, we set out to revise the spring 2025 scope and sequence and syllabus, including key changes such as revising the schedule from the once meeting time a week 5 to 7 to the twice meeting time on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 7, which allowed for more hands-on activities to reinforce concepts and allow students to practically apply the things that they were learning in lectures from ourselves, as well as additional guest lecturers that we were able to bring in from not only our university, but outside of our university, giving them a wide variety of perspectives that helped guide the inclusion of topics not covered in 2024, and the removal and reorganization of topics that may not have ended up being as impactful based on our own reflections and student feedback and student course evaluations. So, in the current spring 2025 semester, our course enrollment grew from 9 students to 12 students, as well as the diversity of students increased as well, going from just the sophomore level group to now a mixture of freshman, sophomore, and a senior music education student about to soon teach, allowing us for multiple perspectives and experiences in the same classroom setting. Again, additional guest lecturers were invited. We had guest lecturers from graduate students here to the Director of School of Music, to the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, to community band booster programs, and more. Interactive activities were planned out throughout the semester. We had things like instrument repair and maintenance sessions. We had instrument petting zoos. We've had multiple teaching opportunities, so a lot more interactiveness. And the midterm assignment this year was the collaboration with the Athens Community Music School to provide teaching experiences with real string students. Here's some of my favorite pictures, mostly because Lindsay's smiling in this one, but this is from Sean's lesson on instrument repair and maintenance. On Tuesday that week, he came in and taught us about how those things can work and gave us tips and tricks. And then on Thursday, we set up stations, had broken instruments, and they got to actually fix those and rotate through each one and get to apply those skills less than 48 hours later. On the right, you can see Michelle Holshoe leading us through some elementary music methods things, some Orff instruments, as well as a song and dance that it took them a while to learn, but they did it.
So looking into the future, we already have submitted a proposal for the SMTE conference this fall in Indianapolis, and are pending results on that, as well as we are in process for a proposal for the OMEA conference in spring of 2026, which is something we're working on with Mr. James Nicely here. And in addition, next spring we are hoping to offer this course again with Mr. James Nicely as one of the teachers, and continue offering these topics as a part of the excellence here at Ohio University. Noah Brant will be pursuing his doctoral studies at University of North Carolina, Greensboro, but he'll still be involved from afar, even if it's in like a weird ghostly spectral kind of way.
So our primary conclusion from implementing this program from the beginning to now has been that this is an important and impactful to undergraduate success because of the depth and breadth of the content,
as well as the hands-on teaching experiences, master classes by expert guest lecturers, and opportunities for growth as educators, both for the students and for ourselves.
Does anyone have any questions? Please.
What was the makeup of your class, like instrumental students versus singing students?
I'm pretty sure both times it was entirely instrumental, wasn't it?
Yes, in the first spring semester we had entirely instrumental, essentially band students. This semester we have more of a band and orchestra. We are still working on trying to recruit vocal people.
Yeah, what are you going, that was my next question, is what are you going to do?
It's, we have had discussions, and it's I unfortunately won't get to see it all the way through, but we've had discussions of if there's a possibility in that spring 26 semester of offering multiple sections at different times. We think that may allow for more enrollment and for this to be more impactful for the entire music education program, because there are having a late night 6 to 7 time frame becomes a challenge for not only us, but our students in recitals, other classes, ensembles. So we're hoping to continue to grow the program as it goes.
And to kind of speak to that as well, the actual content that we delivered, we made sure to apply that across the board for music. And so if we were speaking about something for a band program, we would also offer examples for orchestra programs, choir programs, or jam bands in addition to that. Because you never know what you're going to end up teaching when you leave this place.
What's with the squirrel?
So, Squirrel Palki is named after scholar Josh Palki, who does fantastic work with including transgender and queer students in music education. And during the preparation for the Atlanta conference last semester, Marcus and I spent way too much time together. So we were prepping for scholars' questions that may ask us, hey, I saw you use my work, and I think you did it wrong. And we latched on to Josh Palki for some reason. So we were prepared to meet Josh Palki there. We knew he was going to be there. He was on the list of presenters.
Unfortunately, he had to zoom in, so we did not get to meet him face to face. But we had still named our squirrel Dr. Palki. But we did end up meeting, as I said, Dr. Tim Groltz, who kind of surprised us. He had his name tag flipped over when he first approached us, asked us a lot of in-depth questions, and then we extended hands and it's so great to meet you. I'm Marcus, and he flipped over his name tag and said, oh, I'm Dr. Groltz, and this is exactly what I wanted people to do with my work, and so that was very, very gratifying for us.
So that's the mythology behind Squirrel Palki.
Yes.
Yes.
You mentioned some guest lectures from outside of Ohio University. Could you speak on them a little bit?
Yes, I absolutely can, because we would like to give a huge thank you to all of our guest lecturers, both last spring 2024 and this spring semester. Last spring, we had Michelle Leeser, we had Dr. Tiger Robeson from Wyoming University, Dr. Ryan Pigman from the Patton College of Ed, David Melhope, who is now currently doing doctoral things at Kent State University, of course, the ever-lovely Professor Emily Talley, both last semester and this semester, Sean Millay, both last semester and this semester, and the Logan Band Boosters. And then this semester we had guests like Michelle Holshoe, Wendy Blackwood through ACMS, Nathan and Amelia Gertler, who very generously let us borrow their string students, Dr. Jennifer Walter, Music Education at University of North Carolina, Greensboro, go Spartans, Nate Wise, graduate conducting student, and of course the director of the School of Music, Dr. Tower. So thank you.
In what ways did the curriculum change between the first semester and this semester?
Yeah, and so as we mentioned before, changing the curriculum was based largely on our own reflections as well as student feedback that we received. Something that we noticed on our pre and post surveys, the only question that did not grow was the one that we hadn't taught anything about. And that had to do with bilingual learners in your classroom. And we, as non-experts in that area and with the lack of an ability to find a guest lecturer for that, weren't able to teach to it. And so taking that from our curriculum and analyzing, could we offer this in a meaningful way, and realizing that we didn't have an opportunity to offer that was something that we changed from last semester to this semester in our own planning. And then if you have more to say about what we did,
And then reorganizing and removing some of those topics like that we felt that we could not justifiably do good justice to our music education students allowed us to have new topics come into the course. Nate Wise came in and talked about how to arrange for small bands and marching bands. We got more activities with elementary music methods and with how to be a collaborative student teacher with a mentor teacher in the future.
as well as building your own private studio as a supplement to your own teaching.
So many benefits came from just simply taking a look at what do our students need, and some of that came from our students as well. In the first class this semester, we threw up a list on the board that said, what do you guys want to learn? Most things that were in line with what we had planned or intended to do, and then they even provided some things that we went, that's better than what we have. Let's move some things around because that's what they're gonna need and that's what they wanna know. So it's a collaborative effort both between ourselves, outside the university, and our own students. Any other questions?
I think we're out of time because Dr. Brant has to get in here, so
Sweet.
great job.
Great. The ruleship was the friendship we built along the way.
Oh, I'm going.